Hello, my name is Carly Mullins, and I'm enrolled in public speaking through Labette Community College. The purpose of this speech is for my audience to understand my characteristics and why. I want you guys to close your eyes. Close them and picture walking down a hallway and all of the walls looking unfamiliar. Picture students passing you by and not knowing or recognizing any of the faces. This was me a few years ago, but I didn't let it stop me. The longer I've attended Erie High School, the more I felt comfortable. I've learned to accept the school's mantra, "We are family." Now, that may seem strange that when I think of Erie High School, I think of "we are family," but family doesn't just mean being blood related for me. It means being united. And then when I think of being united, I think of this piece of clarity washing over you. And then when I break that further, when I think of peace or clarity, I feel like you found your purpose. Now, I don't mean what are you going to be when you're older. I mean, in my case, what my characteristics are, my purpose, and not feeling lost, but finding my characteristics. Everyone has their own reason for feeling accepted. Mine is finding my purpose through my personality and feeling accepted. To further understand a person, we must delve deep into their situation. In my case, switching schools. And not only this, but we must bring light to their characteristics. I have discovered my characteristics, from being organized to my urge of helping, and in between with being honest. At my old school, I would walk the halls or see old classmates and they never knew any different. For example, organization. They knew I was the type of student that would bring to-do lists and everything would be organized, and it didn't stand out to them. But at my new school, students made sure to point that out. Whenever I took notes in class, I had 50 million highlighters sitting on my left side and 50 million pens sitting on the other side, and students knew that wasn't exactly normal, how I color-coded everything, and they just used a pencil. But that was my norm. It didn't seem any different until they pointed it out. That's when I went home and walked into my bedroom. I noticed that I don't exactly have a bedroom like most teenagers. Everything's clean, everything has its place, and everything's even labeled. I took it a step further and I went to work and I noticed how, for example, my apron, there is 2 pockets here, here, and here. So in each pocket I put certain things, whether it be a pen or a $10 bill, 2 5s and 10 1s in one, and the rest of my change in the other. Or whenever I did chores at work, I sorted the condiments so it was quicker to get to. I didn't realize I was doing it until it got pointed out to me. My second point I'm going to talk about today is honesty. Now, I always thought honesty meant not lying, but actually it means more than that. It means doing what's right, morally accepted, and being involved, doing good things. At my old school, I wasn't exactly the most involved student, but when I switched schools, I decided to change that. I decided to become involved. Whenever I became involved, I started coming to church, and I started joining more clubs. As I joined clubs and came to church, I met friends that encouraged me to continue being honest and continue doing more good things for this world, continue making a difference. I found joy in this too. Not only has it affected my friendships, but it did other relationships as well, such as my parents. Before, yes, they did trust me, but now that they see I'm involved in more things, they know they can trust me even more. So it's brought us closer together and built up our relationship. The third point I'm going to talk about today is not only my characteristic of mine being honest, but my urge of helping others, the freeness it gives me, the knowing that it's going to make a difference. At my old school, yes, I did like helping others, and I knew I've always wanted to be a helpful person, but At my old school, I kind of kept to my own bubble more. Yeah, I had a couple friends, but I looked at it as a half glass full type of situation. When I switched schools, however, I found that being helpful is one of my strongest characteristics because it gives me this feeling of, like I said, making a difference. So now I look at it as a overfilling glass, spilling over it onto the counter type of thing. For example, for education, whenever somebody struggled in math class, last year in college algebra, there was this one student who really struggled. So I decided to help tutor her. Yes, that kind of did put me behind on some of my work, but I always caught up. It's just knowing that I'm going to make a difference for that person. They're going to understand and they're going to be able to further their education. And that just brought a sense of peace, a sense of purpose that washed over me. Not only education, but in sports, more specifically cheer. I'm not the most peppy person, but I still joined cheer for some reason. I think it was just because I wanted to get out of that bubble of mine, so I did something completely opposite of what I would normally do. Now, when I first joined, I kept questioning so many things, like why they counted to 8 over and over again, or why there's a difference between here and here. Like, I didn't understand. But there was actually a senior who stayed after or stopped what she was doing to come help me. And she helped me understand that the little things do matter in cheer and that cheer can be super fun and not confusing. So this year as a senior, I've decided that I'm going to be that type of senior for the underclassmen and any new cheerleaders. And they have pointed out that I've helped them a lot, and that's just helped me feel like another example of me making a difference. So we have education and sports, but we also have the clubs I've joined. More specifically, I'm going to talk about student council. I never thought I would be in student council. It's another thing that just doesn't seem like me. It's super outgoing, but I did it, and it is my favorite club. Through student council, we joined many different committees, but more specifically, my favorite committee would be voter registration committee. At the school, we put on a drive, and students that weren't registered or needed to update it, or even parents or teachers or anybody, they could come to that drive and we could help them. Help them one-on-one if they had questions, or even simply giving them a sticker or a sucker saying, "Congratulations, you're now registered to vote. Don't forget to vote during the primary," or something like that. We also got to show them how the new equipment worked because the county election clerks brought it over. It inspired me so much, in fact, that I decided to become a poll worker. This past primary election, I spent a day working for the primary election, and this come November, I will be helping again, and I don't regret joining student council in that committee at all, because it helps make a difference, whether it be one voter giving them a sticker or a bunch of voters explaining why we even do a primary election. So to summarize, I have grown to become a helpful person and discovered my passion in doing so. So finally today, I can gladly say I know my characteristics: honesty, the urge of being helpful, and my knack of being organized. These 3 characteristics were discovered through my situation, through my school of unknowns. So I want you to close your eyes again. I want you to picture walking down a hallway and knowing where the posters are. Walking down the hallway and seeing faces, but instead of them looking unfamiliar, you knowing their exact feature, knowing that they're gonna wave or they're gonna talk you up and help you know that you were here for a reason, help you realize that your characteristics matter and you matter. Knowing that if you have a bad day, they're there to talk to you, or if they're having a bad day, you'll gladly be a friend and a shoulder to cry on or whatever. My school of unknowns is no longer that. It's now a school of where I found myself. So let me leave you with this. What situation led you to find or develop your characteristics?